And once we're here in the sign up process, obviously over here they're gonna ask us for our name and stuff. So you're gonna answer that. So I'm gonna enter my name. Okay. Now, once I have entered my name, obviously down here they're gonna ask me for my email. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a temp mail. Okay, so the reason for me using a temp mail is because I'm going to be, scraping this account later on for myself. Like, I'm not going to be using this account. I'm going to be using a proper account later on. So obviously I'm just making this for, educational purposes, just for the video. So that's why I'm going to keep a temp mail in the email section. And once I've done that, here's your password. You're going to set up a strong password for yourself as so. There we go. And once you set up a strong password, keep a phone number for yourself. And once you keep a phone number, agree to the terms of service and everything, and then click on get started. So here we are on your way to Zoho CRM. Now, once it loads, do make a blueprint in your mind. Like, what do you want your CRM to do? What purpose your CRM will have once you start using it and everything, have a general blueprint of what, the things you're going to work with when you have a proper CRM in your, in your boundaries. So once you're over here, CRM welcomes you, John Leahy. So obviously, first of all, you have the company name and everything. Okay, so your current time zone, you have all this stuff to go with it. And so let's go ahead and, set up a company name for ourselves. Okay, now setting up a company name, just go with anything. I'm going to go with John's company. I'm just going to go with that. Once you do that, obviously it's going to say load sample data. Obviously keep that on so you have, some sort of data to, start your work with. And once you do this, obviously it's going to say, hi, John Leahy, we're happy to have you on board. Where would you like to start? So you have all these things going on. So I want to take a tour, show me how to migrate my data. You can go with both of these if you want to. I'm just going to skip it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start my working myself. Okay, so let's just wait for it to load up, and here we are. So you have separate things to go with. So my open deals, my untouched deals, my calls today, my leads, open tasks, meetings, today's leads, deals closing this month, pipeline deals, all these things that you can go ahead and discuss for yourself. So pretty simple stuff, as I said. So let's go ahead and mess around first of all with the homepage. So in the homepage, obviously you're going to get a typical dashboard, and obviously you can change the view of this dashboard by adding components, reordering it. You can view it in full screen, and you can also change dashboards. You can change views from this section over here. You have John Leahy's dashboard, then you can have the manager's dashboard and all that. So you can change views for yourself. Pretty easy, pretty simple. And obviously you can add different content for yourself. Okay, adding content is also pretty simple when it comes to that stuff. And as you can see down here, it also keeps on giving you tips related to content that you have in front of you. So you can go ahead and see out to that as well if you want to. But yeah, you get the general point of how things actually work, of how things actually are. Now, obviously moving further on, basically you can also, as I said, you can add different components. And by adding different components, you can customize your homepage fully in different forms if you want to. As you can see over here, these are different widgets that you can check for your analytics, and you can see a proper overview of how your page is, a proper overview of how things are when it comes to, working with your page. So this is obviously a place where you're going to see the deals that are open from you. These are the deals that are going to be totally untouched, like you made them but then you have not visited them once. These are your calls. Okay, the calls you've got today. These are your leads. You can go ahead and access your leads over here. Okay, and then you have your open tasks over here, and in the open tasks, obviously you're going to see all the tasks that you've either assigned your teammates or assigned yourself, or they're totally unassigned. You can see their priority, that you can see their progress, what, like, are they in progress, are they done, are they not even started, all that. And then you have my meetings, and in the my meetings section, basically you can see the different types of meetings that you've set up. And do know this, you can import meetings as well as creating them for yourself. And it's pretty basic and simple stuff when it comes to creating meetings. So obviously we're going to get into all of that in further parts of the video, so do make sure to just tag along and keep watching. Okay, so Once, we've discussed all that, let's go ahead and, see the more in-depth scenarios of when it comes to using CRM and, seeing the basics of your page. So first of all, let's go ahead and mess around with adding components. So you're going to come here, click on add components. So as you can see, you can add components from different, systems of your page. Okay. Now those different systems can be dashboard, could be a custom view, it could be widgets. Okay. Go with whatever suits you best. And let's say I'm going to go ahead and add something from dashboard. Component name, I'm just going to give it a random name, leads this month. Click on save, and as you can see, it's going to add leads this month, and this is the component name that I've given it. So you get the general overview of everything. Now, right now, as you can see, I'm on the enterprise trial, so obviously I'm going to get all the features that Zoho can provide me. But you can obviously go ahead and get the proper trial for yourself if you want to. Now, obviously, moving further on, that we've discussed all these things. As I was saying, run the enterprise trial, and you can upgrade this anytime you want to. Okay, it's pretty simple to do that, pretty like basic stuff. Okay, and then obviously you can also go ahead and see these widgets up here. So this is obviously your signals widget, and in the signals, you can obviously, as it says, manage your signals that you have. Okay, and obviously you can accordingly configure these for yourself. And once we've discussed about signals, then obviously comes these calendar views of yourself. And obviously in the calendar view, it's pretty basic. You can set different dates for yourself. You can see if you have any type of booking, or some type of something, if you have a commitment or something that might come up for yourself. You can add all that in this system. Then obviously you're going to have Zoho apps. You're going to come here. Okay. And over here, as you can see all Zoho CRM apps. These are basically apps that you can integrate with your software. Okay. And integrating these, you could say, is relatively much easier and much simpler to get your work, more up and running in that case. Now, obviously, you can see all the Zoho apps contain CRM, CRM Plus, Marketing Plus, Begin, Forms, all that stuff. So obviously, we're going to leave all that essentialness out. And now we're going to go ahead. We're going to go on Add Components again. And let me show you a bit more in depth about this. So you can also add components from, a custom view. So let's select a module. Let's go with leads. Or let's go with accounts, or let's just stay with leads. Then you're in leads, you're going to go on custom view. You can go on all leads, for example. You're going to come here, all leads. You're going to give it a name like test comp. I'm going to call it test comp. I'm going to click on save. And as you can see, it's going to save that as test comp for yourself. Now, if you go down here, as you can see, this is a test comp where you're going to see all your leads that you currently have in your CRM. So how cool is that? Now let's go ahead and discuss making leads for yourselves. Okay. Now making leads is pretty simple. Again, you're going to go in leads as so. Okay. Now, once you go in leads, obviously over here, they're going to ask you a bit questions. If you're a first timer, like how do you bring in leads? There's a lot of ways to identify prospective customers for your product or service. There's web form, email, website visitors, Google Sync, or, create leads, import leads for yourself. Pretty simple stuff. So, you can access those for yourself. And when it comes to importing leads has never been easier. Like, it's going to give you different options. Like either you can migrate your lead data from different CRMs that you have previously used. Okay, different CRMs like let's say there's Salesforce, HubSpot, Monday.com, all these different CRMs. Let's say you have a lot of leads data and all that over there, and you want to migrate that and bring it here. So for that, obviously, you're going to go ahead to the migration, and you're going to connect the different CRMs, and you're going to migrate the data accordingly. But you could also go on, from file over here, and you see from file. you can basically download, you can upload a, you could say, CSV, Excel, XLS, or an XLSX file. And by uploading that type of file, basically what you're going to do, it's basically an Excel file. And by uploading an Excel file, basically you're enabling yourself to add multiple data tables, okay, to your, you could say CRM. And multiple data tables are pretty necessary, I guess, because adding data one by one, like I'm going to show you how you can add it one by one, but adding data one by one can be a bit of a drag. Like it could be time consuming, it could take you a lot of time, and obviously time is money, so you can always just skip that bit and upload a proper imported file for yourself. Now, once you upload an imported file, obviously it's going to start implementing the data as so. So let's go ahead. Let me show you what a sample file is going to look like. So this is a sample of a CVV file. This is how it's going to look. You know, records of table with all the data as so. So let's go ahead and actually upload this file into this space over here. So we're going to click on browse. Here's the file. I'm going to download it. And once I've done that, click on next. What do you want to do with the records in the file? Okay. Now you can choose them to add them as new leads or update the existing leads only. Okay. I'm going to keep it as add as new leads. Click on next. Click on next again. Click on continue. Finish. And there you go. So your leads that you imported have been scheduled. So you have new leads now. So you get the point. Now, let me show you how you can create and add leads one by one for yourself. Okay. So for that, you're going to get, this interface in front of you. Now, how are you going to add leads one by one? Now, to add leads one by one for yourself, basically, first of all, you have leads imported successfully from C-Suite file. It's going to give you these options as so. And then you're going to start adding, information. So first of all, there's a lead owner. That's obviously us. So I'm not going to mess around with that. Now you're going to choose some random person. Okay. Add their first name, add their last name as so. And then, they have their company. You're going to name their company, keep their phone number in, give them a title. Let's say they're a vice president. First name, obviously Mr., Mrs. You have all these things. So you can choose those. Then obviously there's the mobile number. Then there's the email. You can add their email if you want to. You have the lead source. Okay, the lead source could be advertisement, cold call, employee referral, external referral, online store, Twitter, Facebook, and all these other options. I'm going to go with cold call. And then you have fax number. If there is any fax number, you can put that in. If there's not, you can just leave that blank. Okay, that's not too important. I get in my opinion, it's not that important. Now, like moving further on, basically there's also websites and stuff, so you can add websites if there is any. Then there's the lead status, attempted to contact in future, contacted, junk lead, lost lead, all that. I'm gonna go with attempted to contact. Number of employees could be, let's say, 98. Ratings, choose those. I'm gonna go with acquired. Then you have all these information like what industry do they work in. It could be the ASB, application service provider, OEM, ERP, all these things. I'm going to go with government, military. And there's a Skype ID if there is any. You can add that. And there's the secondary email. There's the Twitter. If they don't have that, just leave it out. Keep the annual revenue. I'm going to keep it at that. Or, you could, let's go with that. And once you've done with that, you're going to come down here. You're going to add their address. And once you do that, you're going to add a description if you want to. Okay. You can add, a proper description related to this user and as so. And once you've added the description and everything, you get two options. Okay. You can either go and save and new. Okay. Now what save and new does is it basically, as it says, it's going to save and then it's going to open a new form for you to add a new lead. So it's basically kind of a speed run. Okay. You can add multiple leads obviously, but it's manual work, so I would still prefer importing a file over this. But obviously at the end of the day, it's your preference and it's whatever you want to go with. So now once we've discussed about that, obviously keep a good title owner for yourself, keep a fax, rating, Skype ID, Twitter, and everything. Once you've set that, again, go on either save and new or click on save. Okay, accordingly, like, go with whatever is gonna work for you best and go with whatever in the retrospect chooses you best, all that stuff. So choose whatever's best. Once you've chosen that, from there on out, I guess it's just it's a piece of cake from there on out. Again, click on save and new. And do you always cross check that the data that you've entered is correct? It's actually accurate. And once you've cross checked everything, just click on save and you're good to go. So once we are, in this space over here, let's go ahead and, discuss more in depth. So first of all, you can, for send emails to yourself, you can convert stuff. These are things that you can change for yourself. Okay. Again, it's pretty easy to edit the information that you just added for your leads. Okay. And then obviously further moving on, you can add notes, like you can add stuff like right down here. You can add stuff like need to follow up with quote. So let's say I'm going to add that, need to follow up with quote. Okay. You can add stuff like that. Click on save, and obviously it's going to save this accordingly. So you get the point. Then you can see much more things like attachments, products, open activities, closed activities, invited meetings, emails, campaigns, socials, and all that. So pretty, you could say simple stuff in my opinion. And you like get the whole gist of everything. You get the whole point. Again, pretty simple and basic things to get your head behind. Now, moving further on, you can obviously go ahead and mess with the settings as well. Like you can clone things, you can delete it, print a preview if you want to. You can find and merge duplicates, mail merge, run macros, customize business cards, organize lead details, add related lists, review history, create buttons, and all these things that are equally important. So right now we're going to go to convert, and what convert does is it basically converts leads. Okay, now converting lead is also I'd say a pretty important part when it comes to a CRM and managing a whole management system and a page. These are pretty you could say important things to have. So convert leads, create new accounts, and all that. And to convert it, all you're going to do is just click on convert, and as you can see over here, the lead has been successfully converted. Conversion details, it's going to give you all these details. So yeah, as you can see, the lead was converted and it's going to be added into your leads right now. So you're obviously going to wait for a few seconds and it's going to be there. Now let's go ahead and discuss contacts. Okay, how to get the most out of your contacts. So engage contacts through multiple channels like call and email, and then keep track of contacts in a single place. Okay, and contacts are pretty important. Like basically, if you don't have contacts, you're not going to have a lot of people on your page that you can interact with, a lot of people who you can send your things to. You maybe you want to do email marketing, you want to do campaigning. So to obviously send your campaigns and marketing to someone, you're going to need to have proper like contacts. Without that, you won't be able to do so. Now let's go ahead and add contacts for ourselves, create and import contacts, pretty simple stuff. So firstly, when you're here, you're going to get two options. You're going to either create contact or import contacts for yourself. Now, again, the same goes with this case. Importing contacts, really easy. Like one of the easiest things to do in this page. It's going to give you these two different, you could say, options. You could either import from file. Okay, drag and drop your file here, or you can browse it, all that stuff. And you can also, again, same thing, import it from other CRMs. You can migrate data from other CRMs, and migrating data, it's pretty easy, and it's that's all part of the job. So just go ahead and make sure to have a proper migration. And once you get the whole migration bit and all that down, yeah, you're basically gonna be good to go from there. So you get the whole point. You get how things work. Now, obviously, more in depth, you can go ahead and create contacts for yourself as well. Creating contacts is also pretty easy, same as the leads. You're gonna come to creating the contacts, and once you come to creating contacts, it's gonna start asking you all the essential things. So, first of all, keep a contact owner, as I have kept over here. And once you've kept a contact owner, from here on out, what you're going to do is you're going to keep a lead source. Okay. Now in the lead source, choose whatever you want. I'm going to go with advertisement. Then you have your first name and everything. I'm going to keep Mr. Just add a random name, add the last name. And once you've done that, you have the account name. Okay. Your account name could be any of these, or you can keep anything for yourself. This is like, you could say a nickname or something. I'm going to keep a Chapman. So vendor name, obviously you can add a new vendor for yourself. There we go. I've added a vendor. You're going to choose that and click on save. And once you click on save, there you go. You have a new vendor, and we're just going to come here, and this is our new vendor. You're going to choose that. Choose an email for yourself if you want to. You have the title, everything, give them that title. You have department, what department they work in. Could be, marketing, it could be research and all that. So choose that. Then you have their phone numbers and everything. You have phone, other phone, home phone, all that. So again, set these settings for yourself as well. Pretty simple stuff. Then you have fax, assistant, and all that. You also have date of birth, etc. Okay, I'm gonna go with, let's say, this date of birth. You're gonna keep that. You're gonna choose if they have assistant, mobile number. Let's keep this at a cold call. Okay. So then obviously you have tons and tons of other information like assistant phone, email opt-out, Skype ID, secondary email, Twitter, reporting to, all that stuff. Then you have address information. Okay, this is the address that you're going to keep. And then there's the description. And in the description, you could, add stuff like, this is the new contact that we called. Okay. You can keep details like that. Pretty simple and basic stuff to keep for yourself, as you can see. Now obviously moving further on, what you can do for more instance is you're going to click on save, and once you click on save, obviously you're going to get more options to have and more options to mess around with when it comes to working with this. Obviously right now I'm gonna go ahead and change this email. Okay, I'm gonna add an email that I haven't added earlier on. There we go. And once you add the email and everything, once you've added that, yeah, there we go. We're gonna click on save. And once you've clicked on save, there you have it. So you've created a contact for yourself. Again, pretty simple. And you can manage it the same way by going on edit and stuff, pretty, as I've stated it pretty like a lot of times before, very easy. Very basic stuff, and really easy to get your head behind all of this. So again, you can go on edit and edit this page around as much as you want to. And then you have these over here. You can clone stuff, you can print preview, find and merge duplicates, run macros for yourself if you want to. You have customized business cards, organize contact details, add related lists, review history, create buttons, and all that. Pretty simple stuff. So yeah, you get the point. You get how all this works, and it's pretty fun stuff to have for yourself. Now, let's go ahead and create back-to-back accounts or B2B accounts. Okay, so to discuss, the account stuff, you're obviously going to come to the accounts tab. Now, the accounts tab basically contains all the different accounts that you can create for your CRM and all that. And obviously, you're going to make sure to utilize that to the best of it as well, because this ability that you're going to get, again, this will also have a major impact to your whole CRM system. So again, make sure to utilize it to the best of your ability. Now, once, everything loads up properly and everything, let's go ahead and discuss things in great depth. Now, basically, you're going to come to accounts as so. And once you come to accounts, you're going to ask, who are your customers, basically? Some businesses provide services to other businesses, and some work directly with end users. Each account is one organization or department you do proper business with. It could be other businesses for you or end users, all that stuff. And it's, pretty basic stuff to discuss when it comes to the retrospect of, running your whole CRM page and all that. So you get the whole gist of it. Now, moving further on, you can also see the different things like if you come on create an account, again, same thing. You can import accounts the same way you can import the other stuff. So obviously, either you can have a file. Okay, the file can be, again, the same thing: CSV, XLS, XLSX, VCF, etc. It could even be a TXT file. Like you can export things from a TXT file. Again, you can download a sample, upload a sample over here, and see if things actually work out for you. Then you have other CRMs as so. You can migrate data from these other CRMs for yourself. Again, pretty simple stuff to, do for yourself. And then obviously, moving further on, you can add it manually as well, the same way you added the rest of the things manually by going on create account. And once you go on create account, same way as we saw back there. Okay, just go ahead and have a general lookout of how things are, have a general lookout of how things actually work. So we're gonna go here, and once you come here, obviously go ahead and add all your information, like the account names, account site, parent account, account number, phone, fax, website, symbol, employees, SIC code, billing street, shipping street, all that stuff. Add all the essentials. And once you've added all the essentials, obviously from there on out, you're going to get a general lookout of how things are actually going to work for you, of how things are actually going to, be pretty simple and easy to mess around with. So you get the whole general idea. Okay, you get the whole general picture. And once you've got the whole picture of it, once you got the whole gist of it, again, go ahead and add the information for yourself. So you have the account name. Once you have the account name, give it a rating. Like it could be acquired, active, market failed, project canceled, shut down, all that stuff. So add the necessary data, add phone numbers for yourself, account sites. As so, okay, I'm going to add account site. And you have websites, you have parent account. If there is any parent account, you can add that. Add the account number, ticker symbol, again, ownership. In ownership, I'm going to go with public, employees, annual revenue. Let's go with decent annual revenue. Okay, I'm going to go with this much. That's 100,000. 100,000 annual revenue, pretty decent. Okay. And once you've gone with the proper annual revenue from here on out, obviously you're also going to go ahead, write the employee code, SIC code. You have the billing street. Okay, keep a good address, a decent address as so. Keep a good shipping street. And once you've done with all that, go ahead in the description. And in the description, do make sure to go ahead and write a proper description for your product. Okay, writing a description for your product can be very important because like think of it as an online store. Like let's say you have an online store and you put up a product. Okay, let's say it's a t-shirt, and you put up a t-shirt for sale. And once you put up that t-shirt for sale, you're gonna need to give it a description. Like let's say it's a pink t-shirt. Okay, it's a tapered t-shirt, and people are gonna be like, they're gonna look at the photo of it and they're gonna be like, wow, that's actually a good t-shirt, let's go ahead and buy it. Now once they come to buy it, basically if the, you could say, description is not well made, if the description does not look acceptable, if it does not look good, then not a lot of people will actually want to click buy it. Not a lot of people will actually want to, check it out. And we don't want that. We actually want people to check our product out. So we're going to try to make it as good looking as possible, as acceptable as possible. Okay. So yeah, that's our job. And to do that, we're going to have a proper description. Okay. So just make sure to work out with your description. And once you worked out with the description, like let's say you're going to add this new account contains high preference leads, or you can add in that stuff like this, and stuff that just gives you a general outlook of how things are. Now once you've added that, again, you can either click do save and new, and once you do save and new, obviously it's gonna take you to the new section, or you can just save it over here. So I'm going to save it over here, click on save, and once you click on save, obviously, as you can see, it's going to save just over there. Now, once you do that, obviously, it's going to give you all these editing options again. So you can go ahead and edit accordingly if you want to. You also have these clone, delete, print preview, and all these things. that you can mess around with accordingly. So once we've discussed about that, let's go ahead and deals. Okay, deals are basically your sales pipelines. Okay, so how do you actually monitor your sales? You can define your cycles, sales cycle by configuring stages, or you can track your sales pipeline by creating a dashboard and all that stuff. So again, pretty simple and easy and basic stuff to get your head behind. You can go ahead and check walkthrough guides for these, because obviously the sales pipeline, like, do you know this, that you're gonna have to know how a sales pipeline actually works. If you don't know how a sales pipeline actually works, then obviously getting into this will be a bit of a challenge for you. But don't worry, I'm here for you, and I'm gonna discuss how you're gonna start off pretty simply for yourself. So basically, the first thing that you're going to do is obviously choose again if you're going to create a deal for yourself customly, okay, or you're actually going to go ahead and import deals for yourself. And it goes the same for the other aspects, okay. So come here, and in create deals, obviously you can go ahead and create deals for yourself by importing them. And again, the same bit goes. You can import them using a CSV, XLX, or XLSX file. Okay. Now, again, either import them or, migrate them from other, you could say, CRM spaces. And migrating them also gives you a unique output of how the general lookout actually works with the migrating of data. And obviously, just go ahead and make sure to drag and drop your proper themes and filings and all that stuff. So, and do you know this, that you can import up to 5,000 records if you import it. So again, in a way, you can import up to 5,000 contacts in one file. So yeah, that's a pretty, unique and cool feature that I would love to get behind. So now, once we've, discussed that, obviously, let's go ahead and, see the general output of creating a deal manually. Okay. And creating a deal manually also can be pretty helpful, because as it says, it's going to help you create a deal properly manually. So you're going to go on create deal. And once you go on create deal, it's going to give you the option of the whole, the same as the previous texts. It's going to ask you to, name the deal name, account name, deal owners. You have the types of businesses where you can get, existing business, new business. You have the amounts, you have lead source, next step, previous steps, you have contact names and all that. So, pretty simple stuff. And then you have the amount to change. You can choose a closing date. You have steps for negotiation stages and all that. So I'm going to keep an amount. Okay. So you have the deal name. Again, I'm going to go ahead and name the deal. Choose the account name as so. Once you do that, choose the type. It could be an existing business. The next step could be whatever you want. The lead source, let's call it a cold call. Contact name. Again, give it, I'm going to call them this. Okay. And once you do that, there's a probability of how much this is actually going to work. So I'm going to give it a 64% probability. Expected revenue, obviously, like, it's going to do a probability of the amount that you enter. So 64% of this is this. So you get the point. And you have campaign source. Obviously, campaign source, for the campaign source, you're going to have to add a proper campaign for yourself. Okay. So you can go ahead and add new campaigns. Okay, pretty simple stuff, pretty basic stuff to go ahead with. And then you have description. Okay, finally you have descriptions. So you can add this new deal holds. Okay, you can write this new deal holds cold calls for the users affiliating themselves with this. Okay. You can add that, and obviously just make sure to have no spelling mistakes. And once you do that, you're going to click on save, and yeah, basically you're going to be good to go. Once you click on save, obviously when it comes to deals, you have different you could say outlooks and outposts. Okay, you can verify your details for yourself. So you can obviously you have stages. So you have qualifications, needs analysis, value proposition, identity or identify decision makers, proposal, negotiation review, closed won, closed loss to competition, and all that. So set all those things for yourself, Pretty basic stuff. You can also verify details for yourself pretty simply. And verifying details is also pretty simple. You can go on edit, verify them. Let's say I'm going to go on close one. As you can see, you have the amount. You can choose the amount for yourself as so. Then you have the whole date stuff. So once you do that, just click on save. And as you can see, you're on closed one now. And obviously you can go on these one by one and give them a thumbs up that yes, these stages have been won. So you can, yeah, as you can see, one by one, go ahead, give them a thumbs up. And once you do that, yeah, you're going to be essentially pretty good to go. And then obviously, like if I were to go back in all deals, obviously you can sort the views. Okay. Now you can sort them by different things, or you can also have a proper canvas view. It could be, you know, a canvas view, or you can edit it into a different view. You also have Kanban view. Okay, there's the canvas view, which was, as you can see, and this is the Kanban view. Now the Kanban view is really widely used. Okay, and when it comes to, you know, work management systems and project management systems, then like if you're familiar with project management systems, then you most definitely have used the Kanban view. And why do I say that? It's because Kanban view is like highly famous when it comes to your project management because of its ease of use. You know, how easily you can set data over here. So let's go ahead. So basically, now that we've discussed about the whole, you know, deal section, the lead section, let's go straight ahead into, you know, the more complicated stuff. Okay, and by complicated stuff, I mean, you know, shifting these things around. Okay, shifting these things around according to the job status and all that. Okay, and you're gonna have to make sure that everything you do is precisely according to the startup that you want. Okay, and now once we've discussed about that, let's go ahead and discuss tasks. Okay, now what do tasks do for you? Now, once you're in tasks over here, you're gonna get tons and tons of different things to learn and you know, write on from. So obviously tasks are the, you know, practices or, you know, things that you give to your active you know, personnel or active contacts, you know, to do. So now to obviously discuss you know, the whole interface of the Zoho CRM more in depth, we can see that we have more detailed features. Okay, now what do those detailed features consist of? Now, if we were to come and talk about it, let's go ahead and see the analytics section. Okay, now once you're in the analytics section, what do you get here? Obviously, as it says, you're going to see the analytics of your CRM or, you know, creative relationship management. Before that, we have to discuss the reports. Okay, now in reports, what do we find? So here we have, as you can see, all the reports for our recent work that we've done or reports that we have created ourselves. Okay, now there's different, you know, levels to reports. Okay, there could be, you know, you could import reports, you can create them manually, and, you know, all that stuff. So let's go ahead and discuss creating reports. Now, first of all, in the left-hand side, you have all the reports that your, you know, business or management actually consists of. So, you know, you have all this vendors, top 10 users, top 10 templates, today's sales, today's lead stage, sent email status, salesperson, sales by lead source, sales this month, you know, all the essential things that, you know, you could potentially need to talk about this. And obviously, as you scroll down, you can see more reports. And obviously over here, they're also going to give you folders. So this is the vendors report. These are email reports. You have deal reports, lead reports, email reports, deal reports, sales order, quotes, product reports, meeting, deal, sales, deal, lead, meeting. So, you know, you keep getting all these things, and you know, it's generally pretty easy, pretty simple stuff to understand and get behind. Then obviously, you're going to come here and we're going to click on create report. Now, once you go and create report, you can see these things. So create new report, select primary module. Select the module that you would like to create a report for. For example, if you want to see all contacts and the deals added to them in the last month, select contacts as the primary module. So obviously you're going to select whatever contact that you want to get. I'm going to go with leads. And once you go with leads, we're going to click on continue. Obviously it's going to create a report of our leads. Okay. All the lead reports that could be, gathered in the last few, days or something like that. You're going to basically essentially get that. Okay. Now, once you, get all this stuff, you can create more child nodes to it. And these are obviously certain nodes. You could add attachments, done. And obviously, as you can see, you could add parent modules, different parents. So basically, you're creating a family tree. A report is a family tree that you can keep on creating by adding, different leads, attachments, modules, and all that stuff. Pretty robust and pretty nice stuff to have for your page. And then obviously, moving further on, you have other features to discuss for this as well. Okay, so you have analytics, first of all. Now, in the analytics section, let's go here. Okay, here we are in the analytics. Now, in an analytics, what do we have? Okay, first of all, you have the original overview of everything's. Okay, now in the original overview, you have leads this month, revenue this month, deals in pipeline, accounts this month, lead generation target, revenue target, last 3 months performance, leads by source, prolific sales reps. Okay, this is obviously the sales representation that you can have for yourself. Then you have all these other things like lead analytics, deal insights, marketing metrics, sales trend, sales follow-up, activity stats, and all these other components that you can mess with for yourself. Again, same thing, you can add different components. These are obviously components that they've added originally, but you can obviously do some for yourself as well. So if you go and add component SO, here you can see you can add different components. You can add charts, KPI, you have comparator. Yeah, comparator, which basically compares different things. You have anomaly detector, the target meter, funnel, cohort, quadrant, zone, or you can pick one from their, installation gallery where you can install a whole different component for yourself. I'm going to go with chart, and you could either do from reports and get existing reports that, we just created. Now that's the fun thing about reports, the reports that we just created, you could actually add and make components out of those. So, pretty good thing to to realize that you have a feature like that, that you could actually make charts and funnels of reports that you formerly have. So if I go in reports, form reports, you can name the component anything, and then you're going to choose the module. Let's go with leads. We have a leads report. Once you do that, click on save, select the grouping, time leads by calendar week, save, and there you go. Now you've created a proper analytic of the report of leads that we created, and we called it this. You have different record counts, created times, and all that. Pretty similar, pretty simple, basic stuff. And obviously moving on, you can refresh all components to see if there has been any changes made in the whole system. Pretty simple stuff. Now, moving further on, there's also different things like prolific sales representations. Okay, now what is prolific sales? Prolific sales could be, the sales that you prolifically made. Okay, these are the representations that's going to show. Now, as you can see, we've made $42,695 in sales right now. And obviously, to keep it updating, you can keep refreshing all the components for yourself. And as you keep refreshing all the components, you're going to get new and new insights on all the things that you're working with. So, in general stuff, pretty simple stuff, pretty basic stuff to get your head around. And yeah. Now, once we've discussed that and once we've refreshed all the main components, let's go over ahead and discuss about products. Okay. Now, products, on the other hand, are, all the different originality overviews that you're going to get when it comes to, discussing the dashboard and everything. And obviously products might take some time to load up because it depends on the list of products that you have. And obviously right now we don't have any products. We obviously have to either list out products by importing them, creating them, depends on the type of system you have. Now you could import them, there's different ways to import them. It could be imported in an Excel, CSV, or you can migrate your data from a different system or a server. Now, how does the whole migration bit work? Migration is pretty simple. It's pretty easy. All you do is you make sure that your data is actually available on some external different software. Okay. And from that software, you have to make sure that you migrate the data properly and you migrate it well. Okay, so here, as you can see, from file, drag and drop your file here, or actually browse it around. You can download sample files for yourself. You can import it from other CRMs. Maybe you are in working with other CRMs, and you can just get your files from there. Pretty simple stuff. And what CRM are you actually coming from? You can choose that. Choose CRM from which you would actually like to import. Just go with whatever you want to. Okay, or you can just add a product by yourself. Okay, now this was the import product section. I'm gonna keep that on the low and come over here on create a product. Now once you come here, what's gonna happen is, let's wait for it to load and let me show you. Now as you can see, once you're over here, going to give you all these essential things, the things that we just discussed recently. Okay, what did we discuss recently? Recently we discussed how you're going to add information in all these bits. Now adding information has never been easier, it's never been simpler. Really, just go ahead and make sure to fully have the proper information to actually add. So let's say I'm going to add the product code. This is the product code over here. Product activity, you have the product category. With the software, you can choose an end date, choose a start date for yourself. Over here, choose a product name. Okay, so let's say that's my product name. You have the vendor name if you have an actual vendor. As you can see, I created a vendor previously, so you can do that. Choose the manufacturer, choose the support date, and once you do that, choose the support end date. Okay, then you have the price information. Okay, you have different unit prices, you have different stock informations, and discipline information. So you can go ahead and mess around with those as well. And obviously messing around with those is necessary because we actually need to have a good source of integrity when it comes to working around with these things, messing around with these things in great general details and depth. Now moving further on, obviously you have like, let's say if I were to save, there you go, you have products. Now moving further on, let's go ahead and talk about quotes. Okay, let me just save this. Let's wait for it to save and let's view it once it's saved. And once that is done, let's move over to quotes. Now in quotes, obviously you can set up different quotas for people. You can set up different quotes that you can offer to people, you can show to people, view to people, actually tell them that, hey, this is a quote, and you can, work around with this. You can mess around with the information on this and talk about the stuff. So here you have products, product category. Go ahead and mess with that. You have different vendor name, unit prices, quantity ordered, product information, change it to whatever you like. Different timelines, hide details, price information, stock information. You have notes, price blocks, attachments, open activity, closed activity, cases, solutions, contacts, leads, deals, accounts. You have a lot of things, and you can create new records of this. You can assign new records, you can create new records, pretty basic stuff. And then obviously you have different relatable lists, like let's say I'm going to add a note related to the whole product section, and just go ahead and add a note of something like need new products for this case. Add something like that, something that will help increase the robustity and integrity of your whole system. Then you have price books, add to price books and stuff. You have cases, and you can assign yourself cases. You can make new cases for yourself. You can edit this field around if you want to, and by editing it, you can basically save a new product, edit a page layout for yourself. So you get the point. So those are quotes, quotas, and they work pretty well with the product section. Now, moving further on, let's go and discuss sales orders. Okay, so let's open the sales orders page and discuss this. So get sales orders. Sales orders are documents that actually confirm the sales generated after the customer sends a purchase order. They are based on your actual quotes and quotas. So you can go ahead and try Zoho's Proper Finance Suite to use, more advanced filters. You can try their suite integration if you want to. Now, I'm not going to go with the suite integration, but, let's go ahead and correct sales orders. There's like sales orders are your essential proper documents that you can have for the system that you have going on. So, you have a subject, customer number, quote name, pending, sales commissions, account name, deal name, purchase order, due date, contact name, excise duty, statuses, billing streets, that's all your address. So you can go ahead and add that. Now, this is the important part with the sales order. You know, you have your ordered items, and this is their serial numbers. So this is the serial number. This is the product name. You're going to add a description for that product. Then you have the quantity. You know, the quantity could be anything. It could be 20, it could be 10, it could be 5, it could be 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, you know, whatever you want it to be. Then you can list prices for yourself. Okay, that's also pretty simple. The price has to be listed in dollars, or you can, you know, list it in any other currency that your, you know, management system actually is in. That depends on you. Then you have different amounts to keep. You have different discount rates, different taxes, different totals of money, and all that. You know, pretty essential stuff. And you can add more rows for yourself, which is also a pretty good thing. And then finally, you have terms and conditions, which is also pretty important to add. And once you've added all these things, just click on save and you're good to go. And obviously, finally, you have your purchase orders, invoices, services, and projects. Do make sure to have a proper, you know, working with them as well. You know, purchase orders are legal documents for placing orders to secure products and services from vendors. Go ahead, create purchase orders for yourself. Simplistic stuff, pretty easy stuff to work with. You have invoices, services, projects, and you have other modules as well, like campaigns, vendors, price books. Campaigns is also pretty, you could say, important when it comes to a CRM, because, you know, by using a campaign is where we actually see the proper working and integration of a page. So yeah, now I guess that's essentially it for all the information that could be provided on a CRM. And we all know that when it comes to CRM, Zoho CRM, an amazing platform, totally great, gives you all the great essential features that you need to have an actual running, you know, CRM, and to have a good and well upcoming server and all that, and, you know, just have a good relationship with your customers and manage them well, you know. So it's good for your business, and I recommend that you start using it straight away, because it will work amazingly and pretty well for you. So yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed the video and found it informational, drop down a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching this video till the end, and I will be seeing all of you next time. Goodbye.